Welcome to my art studio. It's situated in my garden, so there's lots of inspiration. And this is a virtual pop-up exhibition called Freedom in Colour. And I wanted to do something of some kind of exhibition because I don't know if other artists are watching out there, but it's very frustrating these kind of times. We're not able to exhibit, and a lot of my art fairs and shows have either been cancelled or some of them are going ahead, but I decided to postpone it because of the circumstances. I just didn't think it was the right kind of conditions for me to exhibit in. But I'm desperate to exhibit, so all very frustrating, as some other artists will understand, because not only do I sell online, which is a very good source of selling, but you need to show your work in real life in art fairs and exhibitions, and get your work out there, because there's only so much that you can show online and it doesn't really capture the essence or the emotion of the work until you really see it in real life. And also my work I find really hard to translate through photography and online. It just doesn't capture it the same. You can try your best, but there's nothing like seeing a real painting in real life and really seeing it in different lights and the way it makes you feel. So that was the thinking behind doing a pop-up virtual exhibition. I was thinking, well, if I can't exhibit in real life during this time, then what else can I do? And that's why it's important as an artist. You have to think of other ways, think outside the box a bit, and try new things. And for me as well, to do a video talking in front of the camera is, maybe you can tell, quite nerve-wracking for me. It's not something I usually do. Like, I might do a time lapse of me painting, but I'm not speaking, and I find it really hard to express what I'm thinking about the work, and it's not my strongest point. So I thought, well, you know what, actually, let me push myself and do a video and speak and talk about my work. Propel myself forward a bit more, do things outside of my comfort zone, and so I hope that inspires anyone watching in any area of their work or life. Maybe do things that you don't feel completely comfortable with, push yourself and inspire yourself to do more, just to go that bit further than you would have normally gone in normal times. So that's why I decided to do this little pop-up exhibition, and I'm also going to do a superluminal one because I have different ranges of work. So these are my kind of, I call them colour pops, which are all fluid painting, and they were going to be exhibited in the autumn. So very frustrating for me that I can't show them, but they're here for you to see now. And I spent most of lockdown creating them, and a little bit after lockdown as well. And so that's really where the name comes from, Freedom in Colour, because of the situation, what happened. There's so many constraints, and our lives have all changed to form a new set of rules. And I'm very, I guess, being an artist, in my nature, quite an independent person. I don't like following a lot of rules and regulations. Not that I'm a real rebel, but I guess in a kind of office environment, I used to really struggle with that, being told this is your lunch hour and things like that. I just want to live life in a more kind of open way that I can not follow such constraints. So some people work well with those kind of office rules and that kind of thing, but it's not really my style. So and also I'm if you're into astrology or anything like that, I'm the Chinese year of the horse, so I like to run free. So, and maybe that transpires a bit in my work as well. So yeah, what with the climate of things, so many rules, and all these changes of what we had to learn or unlearn to do, live our lives in a kind of different way. And the lockdown was really questioning all of our personal freedom of not being able to travel, go places the way we would normally live our lives. And some people, follow this, and some people don't care to. So it was very interesting for me to kind of go through that, and I'm so grateful and lucky that I do have my work. And most artists, I guess, kind of work in a lockdown style anyway, so you can spend hours and hours just being so involved in creating. So for me, I was so lucky that I had that, and I nearly was in a situation where I wouldn't have been able to be in my studio and do that, which would be a real conflict for me. So I was so grateful that I could be here and create, and for me that in itself is such a huge freedom to be able to paint and do the work that I love. And also my main focus is on colour, so bright colours, and I guess colour in itself is like a language that forms a sort of relationship with other colours and how that transpires. So for me it was combining the two elements of what was going on at the time, and that's how I came up with this exhibition name. So I hope you can find some kind of comparison in that, and we're all kind of going through our own things, so that you can see some kind of empathise with that. So so all of these paintings are fluid based, and well, I've been painting on and off for over 20 years, but I guess I'm more dedicated in the last 7 years. So when I 7 years ago then really started getting into it, I was obsessed with fluid painting, and I was actually on Instagram, and I was looking and getting so inspired at actually a lot of Australian artists who are incredible fluid artists, and I was like, oh, how do they do that? I want to do that. That looks like so much fun, and wow, the effect is just so beautiful. So I started experimenting with different kind of products, and kind of found my way, but then I kind of got a bit disillusioned by the whole genre of it, because a lot of work all looks the same, and it's all very busy and it covers the whole canvas, and like everyone's trying to achieve all this lacing, and it's all very I don't know, almost manufactured. Not that I'm criticising other artists' work, because some of them are incredible and absolute perfection, but it's like a whole field in itself that I thought, well, it's not really me, I'm just going to do my own thing, my take on how I feel, and just follow what I want to do, which is really important as an artist, that you need to do that. I started forming shapes, and it really wasn't deliberate anyway, I was just doing what I wanted, with lots of white space around, because I'm very interested in negative space and how that works with the colours and the shape, how it all connects and balances, so that the painting isn't so overloaded, but very effective, but that there's enough room to breathe with the white space. So my main aim is to kind of create this look as if the paint is flowing and moving still, so I hope it does that a bit. I did go through a phase where I worked with resin, and the effect was just amazing, beautiful, really glossy and 3D, but I found that I was struggling health-wise. It was quite toxic, and I started getting a rash on my wrists and breathing problems at night. So much as I loved, it was quite addictive as well, very messy, much as I love working with resin, I just thought there's got to be another way, and I'm going to go back to just doing the fluid painting that I was doing. So I use mostly fluid acrylics, and I also mix up my own colours. I use inks which are have a high light fastness, which means they won't fade, and I mix those with pouring mediums and just kind of experiment. And it's really interesting because for me it's almost like a control thing. So I kind of throw the paint on flat and move the canvas around and let the paint take control, let it go where it wants to go, and then I take over the control and bring it back and wipe away sections to make a shape that I want. So it's a really interesting relationship, and then you're like, no, don't go that way, go this way. So yeah, it's fascinating to work with, and it's actually very fast. You've got to work quite quickly, and then very, very slow to dry, and then very, very slow to fill in all the edges. Like on this piece, it takes a long, long time, a lot of patience, and I think I'm not the most accurate of artists, so for me that's another challenge as well, to get it perfect, and really like fine lines. So there's lots of techniques within the fluid paintings of themselves, and then also I love glitter, and it just brings the paintings that bit more to life, especially when you put the lights on. So I'll put the light on, but I don't know if you'll see because it's daylight, but they kind of reflect with the light, and it just brings them to life that bit more. So that's the overall exhibition themes, and I really hope you like the paintings I have, and if you're interested in any of them, don't be shy to message me. I will be talking more about paintings individually, and what the thoughts are behind each one. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks.